Sean Payton's job market is heating up, as you know. Let's check in with New Orleans football, Nick Underhill and the gang, and see what's up with Sean Payton's job market. Take it away, Nicholas.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Nick Underhill for New Orleans Football, and you're watching The Dot, presented by Matt
We are
Powers
up
Auto
close
Review.
and personal.
The first major domino of the offseason is about to fall or not fall at all. And sooner or later, we are going to know exactly what is going on with Sean Payton. But this week, the view is a little bit murky and hard to sort out to be.
Yes, I mean, we've covered this a lot on the channel. And I think it's inherently murky because Sean doesn't have to go anywhere, right? Like Lamar Jackson in a situation like that, or Tom Brady, there's really only two options. You know, like they're either going to play where they are or they're going to play somewhere else. Having that third option of Payton waiting another year, going back to the booth, like all that stuff just makes it so murky because there's no true timetable. We know that come first game of next year, Lamar Jackson will be on a team. Tom Brady will be on a team, right? We know those things. We don't know if Sean Payton's going to be coaching in the NFL. And it's hard to have any kind of like concrete rumors or concrete information whenever the very basis of like, will he be coaching or not is up in the air. So the longer this goes, as we've talked about here on the channel, the longer this goes, the murkier it gets, because the longer it goes, the more likely he is to sit out because either the market's not there, the right teams aren't there. There's a lot of moving pieces here. This is as close as you can get to like an NBA trade where it could be like a 3-team trade because the Saints are one of the teams. Like the Saints are a team. Payton individually is a team because if Payton doesn't want to go somewhere, he'll just sit out, right? And then the other team is obviously the other team. They have to trade for him. So there's so many moving pieces in this one, and those added elements are making it just really confusing as a fan trying to gauge interest. You know, we keep hearing all this stuff about the Broncos, but the Broncos aren't in a great situation pick-wise or any of that stuff. They did get the pick from Miami for Bradley Chubb, so that helps. Then you look at teams like the Texans and the Cardinals, and it's like, man, their pick situation is great, but Payton may not want to go there as much. So, and then you have Carolina, where Carolina kind of is an interesting situation, but do the Saints want to trade Sean Payton within the same division? So there's a lot of variables that is making this murky.
Be quite honest. Payton interviewed with Carolina earlier this week. He's going to interview with Arizona later this week, and there might or might not be another interview with the Denver Broncos. And by the way, apparently now there is a mystery team involved in the mix as well. So what does this mean for the Saints? Again, it's a little bit hard to tell right now. All you really need is for one of these teams to hit and decide they have to have Sean Payton, and this trade happens, and the Saints get their draft pick, and they go on, and they get their...
The current situation, I think the team that makes the most sense, the team that I think is the closest, the team that probably checks all the boxes at this point is Denver. I think Payton wants to go to Denver. I think he likes what they're offering. I think they're offering him a ton of money. I think he's looking at a team where they're talented. He's got Russell Wilson. There's a lot there to like if you're him. And you're not giving up so much, and it's not a full rebuild. I think the Texans are off the table. I think Arizona is kind of slowly falling off the table. I never thought Carolina was an option. I think it's Denver or bust at this point. That's how it looks to me. If Denver wants him bad enough, this is a new ownership group. They have a ton of capital in Russell Wilson. So they need this to work now, right? They only have a small window with Russell Wilson. He's not getting any younger. So if they feel like Sean Payton's that missing piece to get them over the hump, they're going to make it happen. And they don't give a damn about that first-round pick that they inherited from Miami. So it can be there. I think the Saints are willing to move Payton. I think the Saints are okay with that. I think they're okay. They're ready to get off of Sean Payton. So I don't think they're going to, they're not going to be the reason this doesn't get done. I fully expect Sean Payton to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos next year. And besides that, it might be that third mystery team. It may be the mystery team. So I'm filming this on a Tuesday. That report came out either late Monday or early Tuesday because I just heard that myself. That's interesting. I think there's a lot of teams that you wouldn't think that would be there, but are there. Teams like Dallas. I think Dallas is a team that could be there. I've thrown around that idea a few times, especially after the loss. Tampa, I don't think is. Those are teams that are kind of waiting in the wings. Teams that are maybe even Vegas. I don't see Vegas moving off Josh McDaniel. But if Tom Brady's like, because that's the rumor going to Las Vegas. If Tom Brady's like, look, I'm coming to Vegas, I'll do that. But the only way I'm doing it is if you get rid of Josh McDaniel and get Sean Payton. I have a sneaky feeling Vegas could be there as well. So right now, without listening to the rest of this video, I think it's Denver. I think it's Denver or bust. Besides that, I think it would be that mystery team. And I think Dallas makes sense to be that mystery team.
Quarterback or whoever else, and everything is happy and good to go. If one of those teams does not emerge, that's where things start to get a little bit interesting. Maybe the money isn't there for Peyton, or maybe a team doesn't want to give up the compensation, or maybe they just don't want to give up the combination of draft capital, actual capital, and control of the organization, and nothing comes together right now this year. So then this would push off into the future. This cloud hangs over the team for a whole year, and this goes unresolved for now. That's definitely a possibility as well. What we should know is that this thing's gonna play out how it's gonna play out, and hopefully by the end of the week, we have a little bit more clarity. And as far as what all this stuff means and which direction it's going, make sure you check out NewOrleans.football. We have a members-only podcast.
Absolutely. Always check out NewOrleans.football. Great website. They do a great job over there. Nick Underhill and Mike Triplett. Their link to that website and the videos and all that stuff will be down below in the bio. As a Saints fan, Saints fans watching this are probably going to say, James, what should I be rooting for? I think if to pick a team, I think you should be rooting for the Broncos. But more than that, I think you should be rooting for this to be done and for this to be resolved, because Peyton's not coming back to New Orleans. He's made that clear. So we have to get something for him. You don't want Peyton just to walk. You don't want him to go back to TV next year, whatever, with this whole thing's happening again, and he ends up walking. So you might as well say, you know what, screw it. We'll trade him to the Broncos for their first round pick and whatever else they throw in there, and then wish him on his merry way. I saw a report today that he was eating at Drago's down at the end of Canal Street, down by the Harrah's, which is real close to where I live. And a ton of people were like, Sean's in New Orleans, Sean's eating, Sean's doing this. That has to end. Like that time needs to be over. The time where we're watching for Sean Payton in New Orleans, he can't even eat some char-grilled oysters without people thinking about what's next for next season. The era of Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and all that stuff, that era's over in New Orleans. And the faster we realize that, the faster we find the next era and enter that next era of the Saints, the better for the fan base, the better for the team. So where I'm at right now, my fingers are crossed. As far as I know, he's meeting with Denver later this week. And as far as I know, Denver is very interested in getting Sean Payton. That second interview with Denver, they're interested. He's interested. I hope that it's January 24th right now. I would hope by February 1st-ish, February 10th at the latest, we have some decent indication that he's going to the Broncos.
Podcast up there where we dive into more of this and share a little bit more insight on some of the stuff that we're hearing about how each one of these teams feels about Sean Payton.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nick. Guys, let me know in the comments below what you think. Who do you hope he goes to? Do you care at this point? Do you just want the pick? Do you just want to see what we get? And are you ready to move on? Let me know in the comments below what you think will happen. Any predictions, anything like that. I appreciate you watching. And until the next one, see you later.